Okay, so you may remember this handsome fella. This is a gridded portrait that I completed some years back using mark making to represent tones. Now if we zoom in a little bit, or lower the iPad, you can see that areas of highlight are recorded through a sparse use of mark making. Only a few lines, a few dots, spacious lines spread apart. In areas of shadow, the mark making is more dense, so there's more ink on the page. Nice kind of crisscrossy one up here. So by using a range of layered marks, we can create light and dark, and thus make a tonal portrait. Attached to this lesson is this PDF, and on here you can see 6 bars, all separated up into 6 boxes, and in each one are different marks. So we can see at the top here we've got crisscrosses, zigzags, here scribbles, more zigzags. This is a zigzag, that's just stripes. Bubbly effect that looks like stone. You can see how this is used for texture. This one starts to look like knitting and knitted wool up here, but it's just lines and zigzags. So you can also see that the lighter area here only has a little bit of mark making, and as we move along the bar, the effect gets darker and darker because we build up the ink and we reduce the space between the marks. So we have more ink. If you notice, it's really important to notice that these aren't coloured in. It is just dense, based on density. Okay? So your aim will be to create a textural tonal bar using mark making without colouring in, just building up, density of ink. So your task is to attempt the same range of tonal bars using mark making. On a sheet of paper, I want you to draw 6 rectangles, long rectangles that fill the page, and then I want you to break those up into 6 squares each, like so. So we've got, each bar has got 6 individual squares in there, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to grab a pen, and it needs to be a pen because if you can rub out and erase your work, you'll be there forever. So using a pen, you're going to start to create your marks, okay? Now I'm going to try and do this with one hand because I've got the iPad in the other hand. So the first one might be, let's do the scribble, or like a woolly effect. Your first one might be quite loose and not fill up much of the square. The next one might be a little more dense, and already it looks a little bit darker. The third one, more dense, you can really get your curly bits going there, and so on. And there's one bar done. So your job is to continue with a different mark making effect in each bar. Remember to refer back to the PDF sheet for ideas. Please don't copy exactly the same mark making. I want you to use your imagination. You can also stop at the point in the video where we're looking at the portrait. You can pause it, maybe even zoom in, look at some of the textural ideas, or go online, have a look at textures and mark making that you can find on the internet to give you inspiration, okay? This should take you about, I'd say about an hour or more. If I think anything's been rushed and just scribbled down just to get the task done, I will resend it to you and you'll have to redo it. So please take the time to make your work thoughtful and carefully done. And if it looks like that's been done, then I'll mark it. Otherwise it's coming back to you. So please take time and put in the effort. Okay, so I'll make sure that there are some step-by-step instructions in the lesson as well. But if you have any questions, just message me on this lesson and I'll get back to you. Have fun. Bye.